shave the nuts to the chat.
Recently, my boyfriend and I celebrated our 5-year anniversary of being together, and I decided why not make a video about the things that I learned throughout those 5 years in that relationship. First, I learned that we must support each other's growth, even if we fear that that might end the relationship. Relatively early on, I realized that we need to grow separately as people, and then of course we also need to grow together as a couple. One of the biggest challenges that we faced was definitely when I finished high school and he finished high school, and I was moving to the Netherlands to start studying my bachelor. And that definitely put a strain on the relationship, especially because it was unclear when he would join me, because the idea was that he would join me, but we didn't know exactly when. The long distance relationship that we did for half a year was definitely a bit difficult, but it was so important for the both of us that we don't hold each other back and that we support each other's growth. And I feel like that is so important, especially if you fear that this kind of growth and following your own ambitions is going to result in the end of that relationship, especially if you are in a relationship at a relatively early stage in your life, like I was in high school, or even if you develop a relationship in university, then it's so important that your partner supports your goals and doesn't hold you back. Because otherwise, if they do, then that just might build resentment within that relationship and it's not going to end well. That is at least something that I learned. So you can't just accept that the other person is growing, you really must actively support the other person's growth. Also, I learned that I cannot get angry if the other person in the relationship is growing and changing, because it is just an unrealistic expectation that you are going to be the same people as you were in the beginning of your relationship 20 years into your relationship, or 2 years or 3 or 5 years into your relationship. That is just unrealistic, because people always develop, change, and grow. For example, my parents have been together now for more than 30 years and they've been married for more than 20 years. And of course, they were different people at the beginning of their relationship and when they got married than they are now. It's just about growing together as well as growing separately. And of course, I am not the same person I was 5 years ago. Of course, I haven't fundamentally changed. I still hold the same values, but I have definitely grown to be more confident and more ambitious, and I've just grown into a woman from a girl. And my partner probably has changed even more than I have from the moment when we started dating. The second thing that I learned is that shared values are a must and shared interests are not. Throughout our relationship, we have definitely had multiple conversations about the kind of family life we want, the importance of our careers, even our financial well-being in the future, and so on. And these are our personal values that we hold dear and that most likely are not going to change. So it's so important that we are on the same page when it comes to that. Knowing if we want children and when we might want children and how much of a priority our careers are in our lives, definitely now, but also, 10 and 20 years into our future. Those are such important conversations about the values that we have in our own life and the life that we are going to share together that we need to have. And I think that this pretty much applies to every relationship. For example, a relationship in which one person wants children and the other person does not is pretty much doomed, because sooner or later that issue does become a deal breaker. And for example, having conversations about financial well-being and the kinds of lives you want to live financially, and money conversations is so important, because different people hold money to a different value in their life. And it's very important that you have those values aligned, or at least that you understand each other's values and aspirations when it comes to that, because I think that money is one of those topics that really can put a strain on any relationship. And then also something which wasn't really an issue in our relationship, but I know that can be an issue in other relationships, is religion. That is another important conversation that you definitely need to have, because the importance of religious values in your or your partner's life is definitely something that you also need to be on the same page with and understand each other. But the thing that isn't as important are shared interests. In my opinion, shared interests are overrated. We somehow have this expectation that we're going to find a partner that is interested in the exact same things we are interested in, that they will like the same music and movies and books and so on. And when trying to find a person like that, we might overlook someone who actually shares the most fundamental values with us. And so I think that shared interests should just kind of fly out the window in the entire conversation. Yes, it's great if you have shared interests, and you definitely need to have some shared interests, but you don't have to have that many. For example, in my case, my partner and I could not have more different interests. He likes hip hop and indie music, and I like rock music and metal. Like, I literally go to concerts alone because I have no one that will go with me. But then again, it's not like it matters that much, because in rock concerts, everyone is just like so squished together that, everyone just kind of ends up becoming friends. But yeah, music tastes completely different. And when it comes to movies, I like all movies, and he likes comedies and crime dramas that are based on real life. And then, for example, he likes cold weather, I like hot weather. He's a dog person, I'm a cat person. And I will probably get some hate for this, but yes, I am shamelessly a cat person. And actually, the fact that we have different interests is one of the best parts, because we learn from each other so much, and our conversations are never the same. The third thing that I learned is compromise. Throughout my relationship, I realized that if I want to have a long-lasting and healthy relationship, there will definitely be disagreements, to which the solution is compromise. It might be about small things. For example, in our case, I am willing to listen to his music when we clean the house, for example, or where we're driving in a car, if he is willing to give a shot to some of the horror movies and TV shows that I watch. I got him to watch Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. That is probably one of my greatest successes in this relationship. I'm kind of kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Yeah. But of course, we have also compromised about big things, and it is very likely that we will need to compromise about big things in the future too. For example, about what house we buy, or what city, state, or country we live in, because you never know what opportunities life may throw at you. The fourth thing that I learned is that honesty is everything. In my opinion, honesty allows you to fight and not break up. It allows you to understand and figure out the root of the problem, and it allows you to understand the kind of support system you need to provide to each other and figure out what your love languages are. Honesty just allows you to be happier, because the more open you are in a relationship, the less likely you are to hold anything back. And with that comes a lot of trust and understanding, at least definitely in my experience. Number 5, relationships are hard and a lot of work. I feel like everything I already talked about before tells you that relationships are hard and that they do take a lot of work. Relationships require sacrifice in the form of compromise. They require you to step out of your emotional comfort zone for the sake of honesty. And they require that you have a certain level of self-awareness that allows you to understand what you are okay with and what you are not okay with, and allows you to admit when you are wrong, which we all know is usually pretty difficult to do. And the thing is that this process of sacrifice and self-development doesn't just stop after a certain number of years have passed. It may shift and change form depending on what stage of your life you are in, but it never stops. I personally can say that I appreciate the fact that relationships require sacrifice and stepping out of your emotional comfort zone and learning to be more accepting and embracing self-awareness. All of these things have taught me so much. This relationship has taught me so much, and most importantly, it has made me very, very happy. And of course, that is the most important thing above all else. Well, anyway, thank you for watching this video, and if you have been in a relationship before or are in one currently, then please tell me what it is that you have learned during your relationship in the comment section below. And if you haven't been in a relationship before, then please tell me what it is that you are most looking forward to. And please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye.